So you're a technical founder and you're wondering why don't investors quite understand you? Why don't they get you? And this to me is one of my favorite topics to talk about. Okay, now in my career with Wholesale Investor, now I'm talking, this is a 12, 13 year journey that I've been working with technical founders for. I absolutely love working with you. I love collaborating with you. I love the energy you bring. I love the innovation you bring. I don't care whether that innovation is across fintech, whether it's across advanced manufacturing, whether it's across renewable energy, whether it's across, biotech, whatever it may be. I absolutely love dealing with you. You are the kind of person that changes the world and that the world needs more of. The challenge is when it comes to capital raising, people don't quite understand you. And often you can go into the attitude with an investor, well, if they don't understand what I'm doing, then they don't deserve to be a shareholder. And that is not the right attitude and not one that's going to raise you a lot of money. So let me talk to you about this, because for me, I know how passionate you are, I know how much energy you have, and I know how much you bring to the table and the potential of what you can create when you get the right people behind you, whether it be funding or board or whatever it may be, right? And most of you have amazing innovations, amazing products, etc. The challenge for you is often you are speaking the wrong language. Well, you're obviously maybe speaking English to them, but it's not the language that they want to hear, the language of an investor. Now, let me tell you a story, because this has been a really good example for me. One of my favorite people to actually work with is a company called Essential Queensland and their founder, Ray. Ray is one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. And we had a conversation. I remember this was just before COVID. It was around about sort of February 2020. And Ray was frustrated. Ray had been on a journey with us to the UK, and he'd been to Singapore, and he was getting frustrated with not being able to attract investors actually into his business or people that would understand his business. So sat down with Ray and I said, Ray, please tell me about what you do, right? And after that, Ray then spent 15 minutes telling me about what Essential Queensland did. And basically what I said to him at the end, I said, Ray, that was so good to hear. I said, now I understand it. And I repeated back what he communicated to me in one line, in the way that I understood it, because I'm not the most intelligent person on earth, but what I'm good at is simplifying things in a way that someone with my level of intelligence will understand, right? Now, I'm assuming that your level of intelligence is much higher than mine. So if I can understand it, then this means other people can understand it. So I said to Ray that what I want you to do is I want you to repeat this message, this one-liner, right, until the day you sell your business, right? Because this becomes your elevator pitch and this becomes a powerful way for you to communicate, right? So now what I'm going to do in breaking down this, I'm going to give you my 3 top tips of how you, as a passionate technical founder, genius, inventor, however you want to position yourself, can communicate more effectively with investors. First thing is nail your elevator pitch. Get it down to a one-line statement. Now, this may feel like belittling for you, but it is super important for you in your future and in the context, because I have watched Ray now go to basically not only raise money, he then raised much more than what he was actually expecting at the time, right? And I've actually on video talking about this, where he went from we ended up raising 6.5 million during the early stages of COVID. He then got acquired by an investor that was introduced via us, right? And then that has now gone to 10x at this current point in time. So, for me, so not only did he attract investor capital from us, that same investor then introduced him to the company that would become the acquirer, and then that has gone on to 10x. So I hope that sort of completes the picture of the story. Now, let me get back to you. So first part is nail your elevator pitch. Do you know how what we do is? It is the simplest structure on earth to be able to communicate in 2 sentences what it is that you actually do, right? And if you can do that, then it starts to transcend some of your conversations. And that passionate energy that you have, whilst it's simplified, you'll be able to express that later on down the track with these potential investors. But what you need to do is to get them interested first. So nailing your elevator pitch is step 1. Do you know how? What is the problem? What we do is your solution. Okay. Step 2, create a bullet point script for yourself, right? So what this does is this keeps your conversation focused. So when you've got the opportunity to speak to an investor, if you have got a script in front of you, what it does is it helps you stay absolutely focused on what are the key things that an investor wants to hear. Now, I know what you're sitting there thinking is, what is it that an investor wants to hear? I will explain that shortly. Okay, so as I said, this first step is obviously the elevator pitch. Second step is really being able to create a bullet point script for yourself. Now, in this script, the second part about what you're going to be talking about is, okay, talk about your solution at a high level, right? Talk about the problem, the solution, and then what is the vision for the company, right? That is the thing you need to articulate the most, is what is the vision for the company? What is the problem that you're going to passionately wake up and look to solve every single day? And what is the vision that you're going to be working energetically towards actually building? Because investors don't care about your day-to-day challenges, right? In the first instance, they may want to dive deep into that down the track. In the first instance, they just want to understand these core elements, right? And also, you got to understand that for them, what they need to understand is if they can get into their minds the vision of what you're looking to build, that then helps them understand a lot more about what is the potential for your opportunity. So you saying it's $1 billion opportunity means absolutely nothing to them, right? If they can understand the vision, right, they can then put the pieces together because they're technically, they're going to be intelligent people, right? Maybe not at your level, right? Or maybe not understand to the technical degree that you do, but you shouldn't expect them to do that in this first instant. Now, when you're also communicating, here is what an investor wants to hear, okay? So first part is you want to clearly communicate what are the key milestones for the business going forward, right? And also you want to clearly communicate what are the value inflection points. So if you achieve this milestone, what does that mean to the value of the business? Now, it has to be articulated in a way which you can actually communicate it, with actual facts and numbers, right? So just saying it's $1 billion opportunity and saying that if we get 1% market share, blah, 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 that is absolutely not going to work, right? So now the next part is probably one of the most important parts because you are passionate and because you're innovative, you want to talk. So my advice to you is the first step is to not actually talk. The first step, right? If you're going to have a conversation with an investor about your opportunity, right? If you're sitting down for a 30-minute meeting and they want to understand more about what you do, right? As I said, you are creating a script, right? You're highlighting the problem, you're highlighting the solution, and then you're highlighting your solution, and then you're highlighting the vision that you are going to be passionately building, right? And you're communicating the key milestones that you're going to be working towards, and the value inflection points and what that can mean to the value of the business. The next part to put you at ease is that I want you to ask them questions, right? Because this is also important for you. Because if you can ask them what they do, right? What is their background? What is their interest in your opportunity? Why are they interested, right? If you can understand that, that helps you. Ask them what their experience is in your area, right? What do they understand about this area that you're actually working with? And then the third question to ask is, have they invested into similar companies to you, right? So when I talk about similar, technical businesses that are relevant in your space. It may not be in your absolute specific area, but it may be in related areas which gives you sort of the understanding or the interpretation that they will have a bit more knowledge than what you would normally expect. So this last part is super important. When you're starting the conversation, learn more about them, right, before you're talking. Ask them about what they do, right? What's their background, what's their experience, etc. What's their experience in your area? And then also, have they invested into any companies similar to you? What this does is this puts you at ease when you're going into the conversation with a potential investor. And then from there, my key tips to you is nail your elevator pitch. And then also, as I said, nail your 3 key areas of talking about, okay, what is the problem? What is the solution? What is your solution? And then what is the vision that you're working passionately to build, right? And then the next two steps is important to communicate the key milestones and also the key value inflection points for the company. So I hope that is clear, and I hope that's a good summary that helps you, because you are so important to the global economy. You are important to everything, every innovation that comes out going forward. And I don't care, as I said, whether it's financial services related, whether it's renewable energy related, whether it's advanced manufacturing, whether it be in food, whether it be, whether it be in life science, which is one of the most important areas. Your ability to communicate to investors is absolutely paramount to the fuel and the funding that's going to be required for your business going forward. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps you in your next conversations with investors.